Oh, look at that. How many council members does it take to plug in a computer?
What?
2, apparently.
I think you need 3, you need supervisor.
Would you believe I used to wire data center in a former life? Couldn't tell.
It's 6 o'clock, and I want to welcome you to the Town of Trophy Club Town Council meeting. It is June the 8th, 2026. If you can believe it, half of this year is going away, and we're so thankful you're here today, both online as well as in attendance, because it's always the way to stay in touch with what's going on in the town is to stay connected. And it's through our wonderful Facebook that you can connect to Facebook, and or you can pick it up on YouTube. We do have a quorum, and this is a workshop. And I'd like to say that if you want to speak during the workshop, you need to please fill out a card in the back and bring it up to our Town Secretary, Tammy, if there are others who wanted to speak. So the workshop item is a discussion on the creation of a future resolution to display the national motto, "In God We Trust," at town facilities and/or on town property. This is sponsored by Councilman Sean Nelson and Gary Ash. Before we get started, though, I'd always like to give us a process for operation so it makes it easy. So first thing that we'll do, we'll hear from our 2 councilmen regarding opening remarks. Then we'll open it up to the public speakers, and you will have 3 minutes. We have a handy-dandy little timer over there. When it rings, you're done. And so that's the idea, anyway. So you do have 3 minutes to speak. And then after we have heard from all those who have signed up to speak, we'll close the public speaking, and then we will proceed with the council deliberation. Just to remind you, no action is taken. This is to determine if there's a consensus to move forward on this particular item. And due to constraints of time and depending on the time, my goal is to close and be ready at 7 o'clock for our next council meeting. I don't have to ask you if you agree, but that's what it is. So that's the way we're going to do it, and we look forward to hearing from all of our speakers. So would you please, Tammy, help us with that? Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. Sean, would you like to speak first?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mayor, esteemed council members, and Trophy Club citizens, obviously I'm in favor of this. And thank you all for your spirited debate for and against. And just to reiterate, displaying "In God We Trust" is a recognition of long-standing American civic history and tradition, and a phrase that already belongs to the public square through its role as our national motto. The "In God We Trust" display is not new or experimental. It is both common and deeply woven into our national identity. And we are not trying to change the motto of Trophy Club, simply displaying our national motto as is done on our currency, as well as many other facilities across our nation, including in the chambers in Austin and Washington, D.C. This motto promotes our national heritage. The motto has been part of the U.S. currency since 1864. It was officially adopted as the national motto in 1956, reflecting a significant historical moment after World War II and during the Cold War. I recently learned at our Memorial Day event that the 13th fold of the American flag given to the family of a fallen hero stands for "In God We Trust." This motto has cultural significance. Displays of the motto in public spaces are seen as a way to honor American traditions and values. It serves as a reminder of the nation's historical roots and identity as stated in the Declaration of Independence. It represents our community. As the Texas town of patriotism, Trophy Club has a long-standing tradition of recognizing and celebrating the nation's history, service members, veterans, and civic ideals through many events and programs. Why now? On July 4th, we will celebrate our semi-quincentennial, 250 years, and 2026 has been declared a year of celebration and rededication. We count our country's birth from 1776 because that is when the vision and principles we still live by were put in place in the Declaration of Independence. Our president has called on every American to reflect upon and celebrate the wisdom and deeds of the heroes of our founding who made the miracle of America possible. He has called on us to teach about America's inspiring history, heritage, and heroes, and has encouraged us to reflect on the blessings our nation has received. The In God We Trust display is an effort to do this in this very special year so we can return to first principles, a constant reminder about all the amazing things in our history, and to reignite the American spirit. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Hey, thank you, everybody, for joining us here tonight. One of the greatest things about this evening is the fact that we can all come together, freely share our opinions and our thoughts, and engage in a productive discussion. I personally want to thank each of you for being here tonight, and I look forward to hearing your comments from the people of this great town. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And Tammy, did I see someone come in to speak? Because if you want to bring your card up here, you may. Thank you.
Your first speaker is Elizabeth Nelson.
Okay. Please state your name and your address. Thank you.
My name is Elizabeth Nelson, and I live at 267 Oak Hill Drive. Mayor and Council, I am here to strongly support the display of In God We Trust within our town facilities and property. As an immigrant and a naturalized citizen of the great United States, I am strongly in favor of this effort for a number of reasons. First, America is the greatest nation on the planet and is the envy of all countries around the globe, which is why almost all people want to live in here. Second, in God we trust, and the foundation of our rights coming from God and not government is unique and very welcoming to those of us coming from corrupt and tyrannical places. Third, I am not sure why this is controversial, given this is our national motto, but I strongly believe fundamentally that this country is great because we do look to God rather than the government for our rights and our hope. Again, I am strongly in favor of this effort. Thanks for your service.
Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Steve Ford.
Pardon my attire. I was rushing in here to get here to show my support. I'm going to, so that I don't
I'm
rant.
sorry, please.
Oh, I'm
state your
sorry.
name and
Steve
address.
Ford, 400 Hilltop Trophy Club.
Thank you.
So that I don't ramble, I'm just going to read from my email that I sent to the town secretary that I think all of you all have a copy of it. Dear Mayor Tiffany, Sean Nelson, Gary Ash, and remaining members of the Trophy Club Town Council, I'm writing to express my support for the display of the phrase "In God We Trust" in the town council chambers and other appropriate government facilities within Trophy Club. As the official national motto of the United States, "In God We Trust" has long been recognized as an important part of our nation's history, heritage, and identity. The motto appears on U.S. currency in numerous public buildings across the country and serves as a reminder of the principles and values that have influenced generations of Americans. Displaying the national motto in public facilities is not establishing a particular religion or excluding anyone from the community. Rather, it acknowledges a significant aspect of our nation's historical tradition while reflecting the values of many citizens who call Trophy Club home. Such a display can serve as a symbol of unity, civic pride, and respect for the cultural and historical foundations of our country. It has been legally supported as ceremonial deism. Federal courts, including the Supreme Court, have ruled that the phrase is an example of ceremonial deism. This means it has lost its literal religious significance through frequent and repeated use, and instead acts as a patriotic or historical acknowledgement of our nation's heritage. Trophy Club has always been a community that values patriotism, service, and civic engagement. Displaying the national motto in government facilities would be consistent with those values and with practices adopted by many communities throughout Texas and the United States. I respectfully encourage the town council to approve and implement the display of "In God We Trust" in council chambers and other suitable municipal facilities, as well as on all city vehicles. Thank you for your service to our community and for considering the views of Trophy Club residents on this matter.
Thank you.
God bless America.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Next is Kathy Ford.
My name is Kathy Ford, and I live at 400 Hilltop Trophy Club. And I'm just here this afternoon to express my support for the initiative that Councilmember Nelson and Councilmember Ash have brought forward to implement in as many ways as possible and is appropriate the use of the national motto of the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Connie White.
Good evening. I'm Connie White, 119 Trophy Club Drive. First, I want to say thank you. I'm very thankful for the way all of you, particularly with Mayor Tiffany's leadership, have created an open and welcoming and peaceful environment in Trophy Club. As a past mayor of this amazing town, I understand both how difficult and how important that is. I also know that while campaigning and while serving, I'd love the opportunity to meet so many friendly and welcoming individuals, very good people. As a resident of 46 years, I know we've had many political differences, while at the same time, few cultural differences. People even accepted the Yankee in town when we first arrived, not the case in many areas. To this point, the mayor and council and staff have also done a good job of insulating us from national issues. Local politics is intended to be nonpartisan. We need to keep it that way. The motto, "In God We Trust," is a federal motto, which at this point in time has the capability to create an atmosphere of exclusion and mistrust. We have been a town for over 40 years and have not needed to use a federal designation. So why now? Why do so now and risk the bitterness and divisiveness that could result? Do you wonder why I say divisiveness and bitterness? In my research, I found that often this effort is approved because many are afraid to speak out against it. Could this be true? Well, I have spoken to many right here in town who are very much opposed but reluctant to speak, fearing of being branded unfaithful, heathen, or other equally negative terms. Or perhaps unpatriotic. The letter sent out about this topic was titled "A Call to Action for Patriots," addressed to friends and patriots. That makes the clear accusation that anyone not agreeing is therefore not a patriot. The same applies to religious beliefs. I have a very strong faith, but it's my faith, which I have the freedom to believe and practice, just as all others should be afforded that same freedom. Use of this banner inherently excludes or marginalizes those of other faiths or secular backgrounds. As I mentioned earlier, it's a federal model, which we really do not need to add. But if we feel we need it, we might consider e pluribus unum, which was also our federal model. Perhaps even more appropriate would be to use the Texas motto, friendship, which came from the understanding of a spirit of camaraderie among diverse communities. I believe this much better represents the values that we strive to live in our town. While these are alternate suggestions if one is needed, my primary hope is that whole issue just be dropped. This would allow us to move along in the continued harmony all have worked so hard to develop. Thank you.
Perfect. 3 minutes.
I think that was practiced.
Yes, Connie. Thank you, Connie.
Next is Jenny Fox.
Jenny Fox, 2753 Enfield Drive. Council members, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I stand firmly in support of displaying our national motto, "In God We Trust," in town facilities. This is not a new idea, it's not a radical idea, and it's certainly not an untested or divisive idea. As our council report states, this motto has been a part of American civic life for more than a century and was formally adopted by Congress in 1956. It is carved above the Speaker's dais in the U.S. House, displayed in the U.S. Senate chamber, and present in government buildings across the nation, including right here in Texas. Courts at both the state and federal level, including the Fifth Circuit just this April, have repeatedly upheld the motto as a lawful and appropriate civic expression. For Trophy Club, a community that proudly calls itself the Texas town of patriotism, this display is not only appropriate, it is consistent with who we are. We honor Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and wreaths across America. We open our meetings with prayer and pledges. We celebrate service, sacrifice, and the heritage that shaped this country. Displaying the national motto simply aligns our council chambers with the values we already live out loud. This motto is a reminder, not of division, but of accountability, humility, and gratitude. It reflects the long arc of American history, from its appearance on our currency in 1864, which I think is a really cool factoid that I looked up, to its reaffirmation by Congress in 1956, to the overwhelming support it continues to have among Americans today. At a time when our nation is reflecting on 250 years of independence, this is a fitting moment for Trophy Club to affirm a tradition that has guided generations before us. I respectfully urge the council to move forward with supporting this initiative. Thank you for your time and your service to our community. And God bless America.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you.
We don't have any more speakers signed up, but for the record, as of the close of business today, the town received 26 communications regarding this item, 10 in support, 16 in opposition, which copies have been placed at the dais for you this evening.
Okay, thank you. All right, since there are no more speakers, we will go to the council and open it up.
Yeah, I would move that we postpone discussion on this item indefinitely.
I would second that.
I'll third it.
You don't need to third it.
This is not a motion because we're not voting.
That's true.
But we still need, we need a consensus, so is there consensus on this amongst the council? He's asking to delay it indefinitely, to no longer speak to it.
No, you don't have consensus.
No
Hang on a
consensus?
second.
Not on that.
I'm the for. You have a consensus. This is not something I think that I
Okay.
firmly believe that we need to be talking about right now.
Okay. Dennis?
I'd like to have the issue dropped. I want to thank everybody who's given our opinion. I don't look at us as divided. I look at us as having different opinions.
Okay.
So this is not a dividing issue, just different viewpoints. But I'd like to see this issue dropped. If it does continue, I would like to see restrictions put on the size, design, the place, and the methods to do it.
Okay.
But I don't want it to continue.
Okay. Rylan?
I have a desire, as does Clark, to not bring this type of matter into a public forum. I've responded individually to all of the folks that reached out to council via email. My card is in the back. If anyone wishes to contact me personally, my phone number is there. You can call or text anytime. And that's all I have to say on the matter.
Steve?
I agree with tabling it for several reasons. The first of which is just look at what Tammy just reviewed. I mean, this is not an issue that is an overwhelming for or against issue at all. It's not even quite split down the middle. It's 60-40 against. When I was elected, when we were all elected, our job, I believe, as council members, is to put aside our personal opinions about any and every matter. We are elected to listen to you folks. And when I listen to the group here tonight and who have responded, I don't see that there is firm support one way or another. That's why I think at this point in time, we should table the discussion.
I just have a question for Rylan. You said this type of issue. Please clarify.
I don't care to discuss it any further.
Okay. So I'm going to suggest that we table this, and we do not give any further direction to the management to pursue this based on the perception, the input of each council person. And as the mayor, I would also agree that, you know, it is our job as the council is to do what's right for the town. And it's very challenging, as we all might know, being in an elected position, to do what's right for the town, even though my heart may say something else. So this is not about me, it's about what is good to keep the town moving forward in a way that we absolutely do call this a great place to call home. And much of that is because of the caring and taking care of each other, asking for how we can help. And at this point in time, I'm going to say, get more involved. So this is a town where we can make it be more than what it is today if we come together in a way that is a way that we can all participate in. And so, as an elected official, I want to do what is right for the town at this time. And I'm excited about, number one, our council. We have a wonderful council, and my prayer is that we can become strong and again continue to do what's right for this town. And again, it's very hard to set aside what we believe, is right for me. I call it a personal agenda. So let's focus on what is the agenda for the town and how can we make it better and bigger. And the best way we can do it is to get dialogue like this when it's open. We have workshops all the time. For every agenda item, we have a workshop. And wouldn't it be great if we had more people like yourself and others to come in and speak to it and help us make good decisions for the town? Then it's not just about who's sitting up here, it's about the town's investment in what they want this town to be. That's my message, I guess, at this point. But we are going to table this, and there will be no more further discussion on it. And 6:23. We stay. Do not leave, because at 7 o'clock, we are going to have a wonderful opportunity to know more about what's happening in the town, as well as present the resolution for the Texas Town of Patriotism. Stay with us. Be a part of this. Thank you.
Stay tuned for the fun.
It's 7 o'clock, and this is the meeting for our Town Council Trophy Club Texas. It's June the 8th, and we have a quorum, and so happy to see everyone again. I will say it, I repeat it every time, but I'm going to tell you, thank you for joining us on YouTube, Facebook, and in person, because we're going to get much better at coming to our meetings and knowing what's going on. So thank you for being here, and we will stand for an invocation.
Let's pray. God, we love you and we trust you, and we thank you for your love for us. And I pray we'd treat our neighbors well. We're so grateful for our town, for the people that serve it, lead it, protect it, all of it, Father. And I just ask that you bless this meeting. And Father, just remind us of how good we got it, and help us to be grateful and generous and loving. Through Jesus, I ask it. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joel. We appreciate you being here. Do we have any public comments?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll go to the community spotlight. And we first have the proclamation of the Parks and Recreation, and it's going to be presented by our Parks Director, Chase Ellis. Thank you. Give
Good
him a hand.
evening, Mayor and Council. Excited to be up here and read this proclamation from the mayor in preparation for July, which is National Parks and Recreation Month. And so I'll read the proclamation and then get into some of the activities that we have planned for the community, as this is a national initiative that many of the communities across Texas as well as the nation do events to get people out and activated in their communities. So, whereas Parks and Recreation is an integral part of communities throughout this country, including the town of Trophy Club, Texas. And whereas Parks and Recreation promotes health and wellness, improving the physical and mental health of people who live near parks. And whereas Parks and Recreation promotes time spent in nature, which positively impacts mental health by increasing cognitive performance and well-being, and alleviating illnesses such as depression, attention deficit disorders, and Alzheimer's. And whereas Parks and Recreation encourages physical activity by providing space for popular sports, hiking trails, swimming pools, and many other activities designated to promote active lifestyles. And whereas Parks and Recreation programming and education activities such as out-of-school time programming, youth sports, and environmental education are critical to childhood development. And whereas Parks and Recreation increases a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. And whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. And whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month, and whereas the town of Trophy Club, Texas recognizes the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources. Now, therefore, I, Jeanette Tiffany, Mayor of the town of Trophy Club, and on behalf of the Trophy Club Town Council, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2026 as Parks and Recreation Month in the town of Trophy Club, Texas, and encourage all residents to recognize and support the efforts of our local parks and recreation professionals, and to enjoy the many benefits that Parks and Recreation brings to our community. Proclaimed and signed on this, the 8th day of June, 2026, Jeanette Tiffany, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so a couple of the things that we have a total of 9 different activities. The first of all being the kickoff of the 4th of July celebration at Independence Park. You will see this calendar that's going to be shared across our socials that will have the times and places of where all those activities will take place. We've got activities for those that are podtastic, such as treats and trails over at Freedom Dog Park. And then we have walking trails out at Trophy Club Park, as well as some dive-in movies. Our goal is to get the citizens an activity at each of our properties to enjoy that space. And all of these activities are completely free. And so we do hope that the community will come out and join us and visit us and enjoy their parks during Parks and Recreation Month.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Would you like to bring your team in their
Yes.
purple shirts up here to the front? And how about y'all in front of us, and then the council move in this way and take a pic, please? Thank you. And by the way, Chase, why don't you introduce all of your team, please?
Yes, and so here we've got Recreation Superintendent Madison, our special events coordinator Marissa, and our athletics and camps Amanda, and Jorge is our park superintendent. And then all of our rest of our team is doing the work.
And each one is very, very important. However, right now, Marissa's in the spotlight because what are you in charge of, Marissa? Events. What event?
4th of July.
Yeah. Yeah. So help her out.
Already. 1, 2. Got it.
Hurry up,
Oh,
I can't
that's- I
hold
love
my breath
that.
that long.
He can't smile that. He can't smile.
Yeah, that's great.
At the last meeting,
Good job.
Yeah.
smiling muscles like 6 minutes long. Brain looks like we're in trouble.
Our next spotlight, I'd like to invite to the podium Avery Jarena. She is representing the office of Senator Tan Parker, who is our senator. And if you would come right there to the podium, I'll join you in just a moment. And then we also have Kalen Melton. He too represents the office of Ben Bumgardner, our state representative. And they have something they would like to present to our town and council.
Yeah, so hey council, hey mayor, thank you all for inviting us back. Just wanted to present officially the Texas resolution of naming Trophy Club, the town, as the Texas Town of Patriotism. Sorry, I'm sticking to my notes here.
That's okay.
On behalf of Representative Bumgarner and Senator Parker, it's an honor to recognize Trophy Club as the Texas Town of Patriotism. Thank you for your leadership and continue to make this community a place that reflects the very best of Texas. This resolution is more than just words on a piece of paper. It's recognition of the spirit that already exists here. Spirit of patriotism, gratitude, and commitment to preserving the freedoms that we've all been blessed with here in America. Keep up the good work, and just wanted to give you all the framed version of it, signed by the governor and everything, and thank you all for everything y'all do.
Just briefly, would you tell us the process it takes for a town to become recognized with something like that? I mean, it's not easy, no, but just, it's not easy.
I mean,
Tell
I
us.
haven't been with Senator Parker's office since the beginning of the process, but as far as I understand it, it's been over a year-long process since filing the original resolution, getting it passed through committees, getting it passed through the Senate, the House, and then moved to the governor's desk, getting that signed by both him and the lieutenant governor, and then finally shipped down here or up here to Trophy Club so we can finally deliver it to you.
I think it's important to know, we started this a year ago, it's government working, but they worked for us. They didn't stop, they kept it moving on down, and we really do appreciate you doing that. So let's.
Mayor, can I just make a comment that this whole thing was initiated by Mayor Tiffany?
Oh, thank you, yeah. Well, in addition to that, since you said that, this is my favorite book in Trophy Club, and it's called Trophy Club, Where Texas Pride Meets American Spirit, and in here supports why we got that resolution. Without this, we would not have received that resolution, and this is a compilation of all of the support, veterans, parks, our flag, Stars and Stripes tonight. Everybody is a part of this, and they're all a part of that. So we're so excited. Thank you. So would y'all get up here again and take a picture?
Here we go again.
Yeah. Stop.
Are we coming down there?
No, stayed up.
Up there.
No, that, I'm gonna start getting an agent.
I'm moving the line up here.
We need to move that, seat down.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm being told to zoom in. Oh, let me grab them. Do you want one like this? Yes. There we go.
Step stools.
I mean, I didn't shave it just for the meeting.
Okay, now what's really important is Texas Trophy Club Stars and Stripes. Come on up, ladies. This is where the work begins.
Hi, everybody. Super excited to talk about how, like, one of the ways that Trophy Club personifies its Texas town of patriotism. So we're here to talk about the flag planting. And I had a present.
Go ahead and just click either.
Oh,
And-
got it.
Sorry.
Oh,
And before you go, would you introduce your ladies with you, please?
yes, so Tiffany Nymphius, this is Kelly Castonguay, and Jenny Fox.
Okay.
And we will be your, and Mindy also helps tremendously with this event, but she was unable to be here tonight. How does this thing work? Here we go. Okay, yes, so it's a community tradition. And for those of you who might not know, it has been around, this is going to be year 15, which blows my mind that it's been 15 years that we've been doing this. Started off with, let's see.
It's a long time.
Started off with like 11,000 flags. Now we're upwards of 40,000. The number's a little off because it started off being like flags were 10 feet apart, then 12 feet apart, and now we're doing 15 feet apart. So it's very important that everybody gets out there and either figures out how many steps it is for 15 feet, or take a string and measure it, or tape measure, whatever. We really want to get them 15 feet apart. Yes, okay, go ahead.
Michelle, I work.
So the important dates, July 1st is, that's the date that we're going to start distributing the flags. We will do a big get-together for everybody to have one central meeting spot. That's going to be everybody who does main routes, the streets, the HOAs, all of the volunteers that do any street anywhere will come together at one place where we're hoping to get like some food trucks. We're going to make it fun, family-friendly, all of that stuff. Planting is July 2nd. We hand them out on the 1st so that people don't start trying to put them out June 28th, because that's out for way too long. July 2nd is the date that they can go out. There is no specific time, so if you go to work that day, cool, do it when you get home. If you want to knock it out super early in the morning while it's cool, that's great too. There is no specific time, just that particular day. July 5th is Harvest Day. Again, no specific time. We just want them out for that 72-hour window so that they sustain as minimal damage as possible. After you harvest the flags, we want the good ones separated from the bad ones. We will retire the bad ones and pack up the good ones to use again for next year.
Before you go forward, you say you do not have a location for July the 1st yet?
Not yet, but that was, once we get it all knocked out,
Okay.
which is probably going to be towards the end of this week or early next, we have everybody's contact information, and that will be shared.
Okay, good, thanks.
Yeah, and we'll get it out on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
July 15th is the return day, deadline return day. Try to get them in before that, please, because we come up and we check everything. Big change for this year. If you are in the Highlands HOA or Turnberry, they will not be returned to the town hall anymore.
And that's
They will,
big.
yes. So the Highlands HOA, they will be storing and preserving and doing their flags at they're still gonna be, it's community field, everybody's gonna be getting the same information, doing all the same stuff. The Highlands HOA is just gonna store their flags separately, which is phenomenal, and I'm sure the parks guys are gonna love that. Yes, so big change, Highlands, we will have a new drop-off location. Okay, good. 15 feet apart, 2 feet from the curb. If you are in the Highlands or Canterbury Hills, that's a little bit different because of the drip lines. You want to keep it close to the sidewalk on the street side and that little crevice right off the sidewalk. Do not put them in the middle. We do not want to puncture people's sprinkler lines. Prep a hole with the flag with the tool. The tool is something that we have several of, and we will hand them out. If you get that dreaded super hard ground, a drill works wonderfully. And yes, a combo of the two makes it go real fast. Make sure the flags are upright. If anybody's driving around and you see flags that are just falling over, please stop your car, pick them up. We don't want it laying there. We're better than that. Trophy Club's better than that. We want flags upright, looking good, flying in the wind, not droopy on the ground. If you take pictures, tag Trophy Club Stars and Stripes on Facebook so we can create an album and share them as well. We want to highlight all of the fun that all of the families have. We love like all these pictures. Look at these kids, it's so cute. So we want to be able to share that with everybody. And does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, quick question.
What's that?
We still need volunteers.
Yes, we do still need volunteers.
That was my question. I saw on Facebook that there's a bunch of routes that still need people,
That
right?
is correct, yes. So
Okay.
we're still actively searching for volunteers in various regions all over town. So yeah, anybody who's interested, send them our way. We will find a spot for them. We are also big on student involvement. This is a great way to earn volunteer hours, which is something that all of those kids at school are gonna want. Knock it out in the summer, get as many as you can. So we are very grateful for all of the student help. We've already got several signed up. Super excited about that. Yes.
So do you feel like you're getting the message out? Or what kind of response are you getting, do you think?
Oh, yeah, we're getting a good response. I
good.
sent out emails a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
We have a spreadsheet where we track everybody with their name, their route, or email, the number of flags that they're gonna need, any notes that we need to note about them or that route. So it's filling in nicely. I
Okay,
think the
good.
main town routes, I think we need like 4 or 5 more people. And then Turnberry's an area that we do need a lot of assistance with, so if you're in Turnberry, please reach out. The Lakes has a couple, Highlands, Prestwick, we need help there.
Good.
But yeah, so, and I mean, we'll try as hard as we can to get you as close to where you live,
Okay.
but don't be afraid to like hightail it across town. When I lived by Lakeview, I did by Harmony Park, and then I moved and I did Trophy Lake, so.
Yeah, good.
One more question. What percentage of the streets do you think are covered?
There are so many streets. I would say we probably have, I think we have 90% covered. The area that we don't have a lot of coverage is that non-HOA area across from Lakeview Elementary.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
But yeah, so that's an area we're trying to expand into, which is what we're taking, like, if you want to make a monetary donation to Stars and Stripes to help us, like, get those flags, to dig out a volunteer and just say, here are your flags. Because I think a large part is they're more reluctant if they know that they have to front the money for the flags and they don't want to ask their neighbors or something. If we can collectively come up with flags for them, I think it would be easier to find a volunteer for that area.
Oh, you do? So if you can bring the flag, get them.
Correct. I think if we can
Okay,
get the flags
okay.
for them, it's going to be easier to find.
I used to go out and get donations. I mean, that was how we first started these flags,
Mm-hmm.
donations only. And so people will donate if you'll ask.
They have.
Yeah.
It's been,
Yeah,
we've had a good
Good.
response.
good. Okay.
Yeah, we're super excited.
Any other questions, y'all?
Just 15 years is,
It's a long
Crazy.
time.
Isn't
y'all, I mean, for real, for those of y'all,
That
you're
dates,
still back there, right? I mean,
that
she
dates
was mayor.
me.
I mean, this is
I am there.
crazy how long. So it's awesome. Everybody that visits always has something positive to say when they come in from out of town. Like, how do y'all accomplish that?
And it
I'll
really
holler
is,
at Tiffany and Kelly and Jenny, and they'll tell you.
Yeah, and it's really like when you become part of it and you plant the flags and you kind of put in a little bit of work towards it, you kind of get this weird sense of, ironically,
Responsibility.
patriotism. Like it kind of just wells up in you and you just feel proud. So like get out there and feel proud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you.
All right.
Good night, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
They got a captain for you, didn't they? Didn't they get
Yep,
your?
yep.
Yeah, okay, good, thanks. They're very good at recruiting captains for areas that need help, so, but they also need help. Thank you so much, Tiffany, Jenny, and Kelly. Now, Tiffany, you're transitioning this to Jenny, is that right? I want to get, I want to get her on record. You're welcome. You got to transition. Good. Anyway, it's great to see you, Jenny, as a part of that team. Great, great. Okay, let's see. We go now to working for you. Any council people want to say anything?
Just good to reiterate, applications are open if you're looking to volunteer.
Okay, you go right into mine because Jill, where are you going to show these are my words today, working for you. Tammy, would you?
She's got the, one of us.
It's called, this is,
That's good that she can
There we
delegate
go.
to Brandon.
look at it,
He's closer.
it started
He's
all the
closer.
way back there and it made itself all the way up to here.
Oh, you need the mouse to,
Oh, we need to click that.
There we go.
thank you, Brandon.
This is just a reminder because we are opening for applications and this is.
Did you know
there
that you
go.
can help shape the future of Trophy Club without running for office? By volunteering to serve on a board or commission, you can play a vital role in guiding decisions that impact our community every day. From the Arts Council and Animal Shelter Advisory Board to Parks and Recreation and Planning and Zoning. These volunteer boards help shape the quality of life we all enjoy. Boards and commissions provide recommendations, guide town council decisions, and serve as a voice for Trophy Club residents. With a variety of boards and commissions, there's a place for every interest, background, and perspective. To be considered, you must be a resident of Trophy Club for at least 6 months and a registered voter. With flexible meeting schedules, including some boards that only meet a few times a year, there are opportunities to serve even with a busy lifestyle. Serving on a board or commission is a rewarding way to give back, share your perspective, and make a meaningful impact in the community we proudly call a great place to call home. So why not consider stepping up to serve this year? Learn more and apply at trophyclub.org/boards.
So, isn't that cool?
Nice.
Thank you.
Well done.
Tammy, did you do that?
I worked with communications.
Good, y'all, good job. Great, great. Thank you so much. Okay, we go to our town manager. Where are we going, to space? Where is it?
We're in Denmark. I'm not sure.
What,
I think that was Denmark.
Yeah,
what's it?
some kind of music festival.
Thank you very much, Avery and Kaylin. We appreciate you being here. Bye-bye. See you again. Okay, Brandon.
Okay, yep, just a few events to bring to everyone's attention. First of all, movie in the park, we will have a showing of Jumanji, the 1995 version, the original one. Activities will begin at 8 p.m. on Friday, right? Friday, June 12th for it. The highlight of the evening, we will have a capuchin monkey there for it. And as my kids have asked, yes, we mean a live capuchin monkey. For it. So come and have a meet and greet with the monkey on it. And while you're there, you can watch Jumanji as well. Let's see, applications, we talked about the boards and commissions, so that's, applications are now open and available. They opened on June 1st, so come apply for that process. You can go to trophyclub.org/boards and learn more information about how to apply. 4th of July celebrations, we have Celebrate Independence Day in Trophy Club with a full day of patriotic fun. The festivities begin with the Patriot 5K and Fun Run at 7:15 a.m. at the community pool, and then we hop over to the Medlin Middle School at 10 a.m. for our Parade of Patriots, featuring decorated floats, golf carts, bikes, and local organizations proudly showcasing their red, white, and blue spirits. Celebration finishes at Independence Park East from 6 to 10:30 p.m. with live music, food vendors, activities for all ages, and a spectacular fireworks show lighting up the night sky. So again, our race begins at 7:15 in the morning. The parade begins at 10 a.m. and then our fireworks show and the festivities along with that begins at 6 p.m., obviously with the fireworks show happening after 9 p.m. Let's see, we also have a family day out. Celebrate Parks and Recreation Month with a family day out at Harmony Park on Friday, July 10th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Enjoy an afternoon of family-friendly games, activities, and free frozen treats. That's one of the several events happening this July as part of our Parks and Recreation Month activities. All right, upcoming boards and commission meetings. On June 10th, we have the Trophy Club Council for Arts and Culture meeting at 6 p.m. On June 11th, the Zoning Board of Adjustments meeting at 6 PM. On June 15th, Parks and Recreation Board will meet at 6 PM. On June 24th, the Economic Development Corporation will meet at 6 PM. And on July 9th, Planning and Zoning Commission will meet at 6 PM.
Wow.
We always invite the public to come and participate in these meetings with us. And as a reminder, we have Breakfast with Tiffany on Monday, June 15th at the Tom Thumb Starbucks. Come for that event. And we're going to start working with the community to focus on a topic whenever we have these Breakfasts with Tiffany. This time it will be discussing e-bikes and e-scooters. So if you're interested in coming and learning more about some of the regulations around that, come meet with us. We have
There you go, residents.
Yep. So when
Place
we
that
arrive,
get
we expect to
questions
see a lot of
answered.
scooters lined up on the
Yes.
side of Starbucks. Let's see, as a reminder, there is no town council meeting on June 22nd. So we're skipping the second meeting in June. So our next council meeting will be on Monday, July 13th. Okay, so about a month out. And again, on the 4th of July, for the 4th of July holiday, we will be, town offices will be closed on Monday, July 6th. So that's a little bit strange. Normally, we would close that Friday, but we're going to close the Monday because we're obviously in full activity preparation mode on Friday. So we'll take that Monday as the observed holiday here in Trophy Club. And if there's any questions on those items, I can answer them now, but thank you very much, Council.
Any questions? Okay, next, quick tip.
All right, so this is section 3.11 of the Home Rule Charter. It says this: the council shall determine its own rules of procedure, which y'all have adopted and amended, and may compel the attendance of its members. So all these rules are spelled out in your rules of procedure. Minutes of the proceedings of the council shall be kept, and that's what Tammy is doing, to which citizens may have access at all reasonable times and which shall constitute one of the archives of the town. Any item requested by two council members, this is how items get on your agenda. Any item requested by two council members or the mayor or the town manager shall be placed on the agenda by the town secretary. So the idea there with two council members is like a motion and a second. The mayor will establish the order of the agenda for each council meeting. The town secretary shall prepare the agenda, which shall be publicly posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. The rules shall provide that citizens of the town shall have a reasonable opportunity to be heard at any meeting. And so like the mayor did today, even though for the work session, we didn't have the paragraph there for open session, she can open up the floor and allow for public comment whenever she needs to. And actually, in your rules of procedure, you allow for that opportunity many times. So with each agenda item and also at the beginning of the meeting, and Open Meetings Act requires public comment during or before the item, but not after. Or if they're doing it after, they're kind of too late. So they want to give the public opportunity to make a comment before or during the item.
Thank you. You know, the other thought, when I've been thinking about this recently, residents may have an issue, and you can get it on the agenda if you can get two council people to support it. So that's the purpose of that, to put it out into the residents. It is the voice of the people. You just have to get two council people to agree with it. So I think that's important for us to know, because I would bet that most people don't know that. So, thank you so much. And we will go into the consent agenda.
This part of the agenda consists of non-controversial or housekeeping items required by law. Items may be removed from consent by any council member by making such request prior to a motion and vote.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, Mayor, I'll move to approve consent agenda, items 6 through 9.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ryland seconds. Are those approved? Those opposed? Motion passes. We need some meeting.
Individual items. Item 10, consider an ordinance of the Town of Trophy Club amending Article 3.10 Apartment Complex Licensing and 3.11 Single Family Residence Licensing of Chapter 3 Building Regulations by updating provisions governing the regulation, inspection, and permitting of rentals for single-family and multifamily dwellings.
All right, is Tamara, you're going to help us with this?
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. This evening, I'd like to provide an overview of the proposed updates to the town's rental registration program. The goal is, for this initiative, is to evaluate our current program, to improve how rental properties are registered, and to ensure rental housing remains safe and compliant with the town regulations. So one of the biggest changes is how rental properties will be registered. Currently, the rental license are submitted by email or in person, and there is no formal enforcement today. Under the proposed program, the license will be renamed to the Rental Property Registration License, and applications will be submitted through our online portal within the town's permitting software. We're also exploring potential enforcement partners with the municipal utility district. We're looking to see if their utility billing has an option for us to add in a box for rentals so that if somebody comes in and has a rental home, that we can get a document from the MUD that says these are all of the new rental properties so that we can help them understand our ordinance and our regulations for that. So the updated application will collect more information than it has today. This includes property details, ownership information, emergency contacts, tenant information, management information, and verification that required safety devices are functioning on the property. The application will also require proof of insurance. This was something that the council wanted, and then other information as needed to maintain accurate records. Staff is proposing a $5 increase to the rental registration fee. If approved by council tonight, we will update the fee schedule and bring that back to a future agenda item. The proposed increase is intended to help offset the additional costs associated with utilizing a third-party inspection service. Staff's goal is to ensure that the expenses related to the rental registration and inspection program are covered by the program's revenues, and which minimizes the need to support from other town funds.
Can you just review for those listening in what the current fee is and proposed?
Yes, so the current licensing fee is $120. We are proposing that the license go up to $125. The current cost for a third-party inspection is around $77. But this doesn't take into account the time that staff has to go out to inspect, or any additional inspections. Re-inspections will cost more. And this just helps the town not utilize any other funds except the program's funds for the cost of anything that we have associated with the program.
So this is supposedly revenue neutral.
Correct, yes.
That's the goal.
We're going to have a buffer in there just to make sure that if something happens, we don't use any other funds. We just stay within the program.
Yeah, it should run a little bit better than revenue neutral. We should make a little bit more, but not very much.
Well, if you're going to use re-inspections and stuff like that, so you're,
Correct.
you could lose money on one, but you're going to gain on another.
Exactly.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so another change is moving to a calendar year licensing system. What this will do is all licenses will expire on December 31st, and applications will be required to renew annually. We're asking that before December, we can get a renewal application in. This will help us review it so that by January, you have a new license. Fees will be prorated for anybody who comes in mid-year and wants a license. It will be prorated and they will pay a lesser fee. This creates a more consistent and streamlined process for both property owners and the staff.
So to what standard are we inspecting properties? I mean, is there some level of code that we look at, and are we compensating for those inspections when the codes change? How do we keep track of all that? What does that look like?
Yes, so the current process does go off of state and local codes, so building codes, anything fire safety. We do have our fire marshal go out with our building inspector. and they will inspect all of the properties per code. And this goes out every time that they renew their license, there'll be an inspection. If it change owners, there will be a new inspection. If the inspection fails, there'll be a reinspection, and then there'll be violations after that. But this will all happen with going by local laws.
So the codes change every year.
Yeah, it'll be the most up-to-date one.
Okay, so if I have a house that's built in 1972, and you're inspecting it to 2027 standards, it's probably not going to meet expectations.
Yeah, we'll have Matt help us
We'll let our
with
building
understanding
inspector,
the,
yes.
how inspections happen. Yep.
So we've got existing building code.
Okay.
So that's a separate book. So you've got IRC, the residential code and plumbing code, but we also have an existing building code. So things would fall under that. If we go in, I'll give you the number one example for any of the older homes is your GFI outlets and your arc fault. So GFI, we still need to have them. But you've got the newer codes, newer homes that they'll throw in those arc faults, and that's not required for that. So we've got a grandfather thing in. Probably the biggest thing for inspections is we've got basic code inspection. Part of our list is also going to be similar to like a real estate inspection where they come in. Code doesn't talk about if you walk up to a toilet and the floor is squishy. It just doesn't really have something in there. That's where we can write that up. That needs to be removed, replaced, things like that.
Okay. I've lived through a lot of inspections in my life because I've moved many times, and I know that it gets kind of convoluted, and, you know, I don't want it to be a burden on the citizens to.
Correct.
where it's
Focus is life.
impossible to do anything.
Focus is safety on that.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Very good, thank you.
Thanks, Matt. And we do have a buffer in there. We're not going in as you're violating and now you get your license revoked. We're actually providing the information, giving a timeline, and then if nothing is done, then the violation becomes a little bit higher. So we're giving an opportunity to the owner to do this, and if the inspection comes back and it fails, they have an appeal process now, which we'll get into. So we give ample time for them if something happens. All right, so currently apartment rentals and single-family rentals are regulated under separate ordinances. And so with this, we've combined both the single-family and the multifamily, which is our apartments, condos, and duplexes. The proposed update combines all of those rental homes requirements into one single ordinance, so we don't have to look at two of them. It is also clearly stated that the rental property must have a valid license before they do any advertising, leased, or operate within the town. This just helps ensure all rental homes in Trophy Club are registered, they're inspected, they're safe for occupancy, and they maintain in accordance with the standards established with the town. So we're not trying to make anybody feel like they need to hurry up and do something that's not within what they want to do. We're just making sure that they're doing it the proper way, that they're safe.
Yes. What?
Okay. I'm going to bring up what you just said. A rental property cannot be advertised. I disagree.
Okay.
You get a realtor that puts a sign out for lease, sale or lease. They don't know what's going to happen. Somebody may advertise it and not get an occupant for 6 months. So you just caused them to get a license or a permit for, I'd like to see this put into either a signed lease or an occupancy restriction rather than an advertised. Because the advertising is, I don't know if I'm making myself clear, way ahead of time. You could advertise 6 months ahead, whatever, and could be costly.
Oh, you mean
And not,
before they rent it?
yeah, and it may not be rented.
Oh, so
It may be sold.
It occurs when it is rented.
Yeah, that's right. So as of right now, like on page 55, we have exactly what it says. No rental unit may be advertised. That's where I have my issue.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I think the reason why it would be helpful to have the word in there, and certainly it can be removed, right? One of the reasons why it might be helpful to have the word in there is that if we receive a complaint or an inquiry about a property that is advertised for rent, right, on that part, we can check our records and verify, yes, it has a license, versus kind of saying, we don't have a record of it being licensed yet, but we would see that later on. So I think it helps us in that process of responding to inquiries about the status of a currently leased property. Other than that, there's not really much of a.
See, you're using the word currently leased, and I'm just saying, hey, I want to advertise my house.
Yeah.
and
Or currently advertised.
Whatever.
sorry,
I'd
currently
rather
advertised
see
property.
it, tied to a lease rather than advertised.
Yeah, I think that's a good catch, Dennis. I'd like to explore ways to cleanly cover for that without bogging it down today.
We're not objecting
Yeah.
to getting, once you get a lease, you need a
Right.
permit,
Yeah.
or excuse me, a license. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and
isn't
it
the
can
lot,
simply be as easy as just simply amending that section to remove the word advertised.
That's
Maybe.
what I'm asking.
Yeah.
So that's section 3.10.003, and it says,
Yeah.
no rental unit may be advertised, offered for lease, leased, or operated. So you'd be talking about removing advertised or offered for lease.
Oh, I get those two, then it would read, no rental unit may be leased or operated without a license.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think that clarifies it. Thank you.
thank you, Dennis.
That's
You're
my
good.
only,
You're
that's my
good.
only
You're so
one. I
good.
mean,
We appreciate you, Dennis.
I'm not going to talk about the mispronounced word
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
You're on record as saying that, Dennis.
Good job.
All right, so the proposed ordinance expands the town's ability to inspect rental properties when necessary. So inspections may occur during registration, when tenants change and complaints are filed, or when there are life safety concerns. So the ordinance also introduces stronger enforcement tools for serious violations, including the ability to suspend or revoke licenses if critical safety issues are not corrected. So temporary suspensions wouldn't necessarily require tenants to vacate the property unless the building official determines that the property should be vacated under town ordinances, building codes, building regulations, and building standards commission's procedures. So any decision to vacate of the property would be based specifically on whether there is an imminent threat to public safety. A certificate of occupancy can be suspended or revoked in severe situations, and the person would no longer be considered, the home would no longer be considered habitable. But tenants could remain in the home with a suspended license if the building official determines that corrective actions and criminal enforcement are more appropriate than displacing the resident. So with this, it allows the town to be flexible to address violations while minimizing unnecessary impacts on the tenant whenever possible.
This whole entire discussion requires inspectors, correct?
Yes.
So I guess, I mean, I know it's very important to have this. I'm not discounting that, but it also says how many of these houses are going to be inspected over a period of time and to what cost. I'm just,
Yeah.
so
And that's-
this
and that's
is an
one of the
important
reasons.
ordinance, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but we are looking at an additional cost.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to, currently, my understanding is we have around 400 houses possibly, potentially, that are rented.
Potentially, we have 40 that are registered.
And 40 of those are registered. So that's a lot of inspections.
It's a better ratio than when we had pet registration, I'll tell you that. We're not doing too bad.
Is it better today? So I'm just raising the bar, the comment that this is long-term, lots of many houses.
It
lots of
would build up
inspections.
over time rather than be a waterfall of a sudden influx of
Yeah.
licensing. It would be
Correct.
as things, the life cycle of these things come and go, you would see more and more enter into the system. And then we have the advantage, I say, as a result of that to perfect the process internally with you guys as we
Yeah.
go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have the hope that if the MUD is able to add the rental or owner-occupied box to their questions when they're starting water service for someone, that we are able
help.
to build that list over time, right? As people come and start to change over properties, we'll be able to do it. So every year, we'll have more and more to be able to add to the list. You bring up an excellent point, which is, staffing-wise, we don't have the ability to do this in-house because of this, just the sheer number of inspections that would need to be done. That's why the third-party inspection service for us is really the model that we need to use to do this, and our fees are set accordingly so that we make sure that we're paying for that service.
So we'll budget for that, an estimated budget going forward?
That is correct. Yep, and we should see that number go up again. If we are able to get that item added to the MUD's questions when they're starting service, water service for a resident, we should be able to have that amount grow over year. Every year it will start to grow for us. However, if we're not successful in getting that part done, we will continue to struggle to have properties register for this program the way that we would want them to.
Yeah, and I'm always, of course, intrigued that people who have rental properties don't register. I mean, so we have to go find them. So does that make sense?
Yeah, it becomes a lot harder without that
Yeah.
check-in mechanism
That's
of
right.
starting water service.
Yeah, and that will help facilitate that.
Okay, so landlord requirements. Property owners will have the additional responsibilities under this updated ordinance. These include providing proof of insurance, emergency contact information, and certificates that require safety devices that are installed and are functioning. The ordinance also updates occupancy standards to align with state and federal housing guidelines by establishing occupancy limits based on bedroom size and square footage. This is something that we talked about last time, and we have included it in the ordinance. So we also have new is tenant responsibilities. Tenants will be required to maintain sanitary conditions, properly dispose of waste, and avoid creating code violations. Parking requirements are also clarified by tying vehicle limits to avoiding parking and occupancy levels while remaining consistent with the existing town parking regulations. We tied in what we did with the prior ordinance to this parking ordinance, where they will be limited to how many they have adjacent, as well as how many bedrooms they have. So tenants who live in an HOA will follow both town ordinances and HOA covenants, which operate independently. The town adopts and enforces laws through municipal authority, while the HOAs enforce private deed restrictions and covenants through civil process. So property owners and residents must comply with all applicable town ordinances, regardless of whether the HOA regulates the issue. So likewise, if an HOA has additional restrictions that are not addressed by the town, property owners and residents are still responsible for complying with those HOA requirements. Now, the town ordinances and HOA regulations operate independently, and so both of them will apply, but the town will supersede the HOA if it is an ordinance that we have created.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does the HOA know when a house is rented versus purchased? Like the MUD? No?
No,
Okay.
unfortunately, yeah.
Although that brings up a thing we might ask. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, appeals. So the appeals process is different. It's been updated. The appeals used to go to the town council, and now it will go to the zoning board of adjustments. And the appeal period would increase from the 5 days to the 15 days. So if someone purchases an occupied rental property and cannot complete the inspection process before closing, the new property owner will be in violation of the ordinance that is presented tonight. Through the administrative process, we are anticipating working in coordination with the MUD to help identify these properties, and that would trigger a new application. If the property has a license in our system, and after we get something from the MUD that says that there's a new property owner, then we will send out a written notice of violation. So violations may include, but are not limited to, the imposing of penalties. So We will be looking at making sure that if you're selling a home that's a rental home, that the seller is notifying the buyer that there is a license that they have to, that is required. And if they don't do that within 30 days, there will be penalties because it's a violation. All right, so for multifamily properties, additional registration information will be required, and the town will have expanded enforcement, which serves as several different violations, if several different violations occur. All right, so in conclusion, these updates modernize the town's rental registration program. They improve the safety standards, provide clearer expectations for landlords and tenants, and create a more consistent enforcement process across all of the rental housing types. So if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Questions? Dennis?
How does somebody know that they need a license or a permit or whatever?
That's what I want to know. That's kind of what I want.
So we're going to be working with our marketing and making sure that we, if this is approved tonight by council, that we get as much information out to the public as possible. Like we discussed earlier, we're going to work with the MUD to see if they can add something in, and then we'll continue to push this out as much as we can so that we can educate the public.
For instance, I saw recently a for sale lease sign in front of a home through a realtor. Does the realtor notify the town, or do they have any responsibility for? No, they don't. But
If it was advertised, or, excuse me, not advertised, if it was made public, and that,
It
yes,
is made
the
public.
realtor would be responsible.
it's made public with the sign in the yard.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying is if we, as a town, make this public awareness, then the realtor is legally liable through the TREC laws to disclose.
Is that true?
Not through the town, obviously through the
I'm talking about the TREC.
Correct, he's
Yeah.
talking about.
But I'm just saying, but they have to be notified. They have to know it has to
Correct.
be
Yeah, yeah.
available out there in the public. That's what I'm
Okay.
trying to say.
Okay, so I think that it will help, because, I mean, I saw a lease signed by a realtor's been in this town for a long, long time.
Yeah, and we'll be pushing out these rules, obviously, to
Perfect.
realtors in
Yeah.
town that we're aware of.
Yeah.
Asking that they share it with others as
I
well.
like that, yeah, because they will help us, so.
Dean, is it legal for the MUD to share that information?
So the MUD has an agreement with the the town to provide the utility information, is that you're asking? To the town, but there is certain information that's confidential under law when it comes to utilities that cannot be provided, but it can provide it to town staff or, as it relates to the water bill. Does that make sense? So the
Yes and
staff
no.
will have that information.
Yeah, I just didn't know if they could reveal that level of information.
They can to the town, but not to the general public because there are confidentiality laws. Does that make sense? For example, if I requested the information as a private citizen, I couldn't get it.
Yeah.
You couldn't file open records with the MUD and say, show me who all got their water turned on this month.
I could, but there would be an exemption.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is a great step forward for our town to have clear standards for leasing and inspection.
Well, I think housing is evolving, like
Yes,
everything,
yes.
right? And we've
Yeah.
talked before, we've had a lot of resident feedback about short-term rentals, which is a different layer in this conversation, but it all kind of comes back to having the right structure and the right sort of understandable baselines. And like you all said, having a mechanism that we believe is going to make sure people know what's required of them without, I'm very much in Clark's camp of not wanting to make something onerous on people. We want to be reasonable and structured and you know, whatever the case may be there. Barring any further discussion, I bring a motion to the floor.
Thank you. Do it.
I would move that we approve an ordinance of the Town of Trophy Club amending Articles 3.10 Apartment Complex Licensing and 3.11 Single-Family Residence Licensing of Chapter 3 Building Regulations by updating provisions governing the regulation, inspection, and permitting of rentals for single-family and multifamily dwellings as presented in the packet with the following exception. That we modify Section 3.10.003, Romanet A, to remove the two following phrases: one, advertised, and two, offered for lease.
Is there a second?
Second.
I want you to read it now.
Read it.
Yes, read it again. No,
I'm still stuck on
Whatever
the,
he
I'm
said
still stuck
plus.
on the Romanette. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's a
Very-
callback from a long time ago.
Dennis seconds. All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed, motion passes. Good job. We don't need Dean.
Item 11, consider an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget to authorize a one-time transfer from the general fund balance to the capital replacement fund for planned capital expenditures through fiscal year 2026-2030 in accordance with the capital replacement fund plan and financial reserves policy.
April.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Staff is recommending your consideration of a one-time transfer of $4.2 million from excess general fund reserves to the Capital Equipment Replacement Fund. Following the close of fiscal year 2024-25, the town's unassigned general fund balance reached approximately 78% of annual operating expenditures, exceeding the reserve levels established in our financial reserves policy. This provides an opportunity to strategically invest in future capital needs while maintaining strong financial stability. The proposed transfer would fund planned equipment replacements and facility improvements through fiscal year 2031, including public safety vehicles and equipment, park and facility improvements, security upgrades, wayfinding signage, and future ambulance replacement. By funding these needs now, the town can replace critical assets on schedule, avoid future budget pressures, and reduce the need for debt financing while continuing to maintain healthy reserve levels. Staff is requesting consideration of the budget amendment to implement this transfer and fund these capital needs. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Yes, sir.
So April, can you give a brief overview of what the current reserves are? Not only a dollar amount, but the percentages, and what that will be if approved?
So current fund balance reserves for general fund is at $12.4 million, which is about 78%. Our policy says that should be between 35 and 50%. After this amendment, it would drop it to about 8.2 million, which drops us to about 52%, I believe, so just above the top end of our target.
Great, thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's good. Other questions?
I want to kind of just describe to y'all how I envision this in my mind. And y'all can correct me if I'm interpreting it wrong. The way things kind of meander and move over time is that over the last handful of years, we have gotten more prescriptive and more detailed with our capital replacement fund plan. We've always had a capital replacement fund. We've always had that in the budget, but we've refined the plan to ensure that there's a long-range, fully funded sort of plan to go along with it. And along those same lines, we did recently revise our fund balance policy, like you just mentioned, April, because it had grown really higher than what we were comfortable with, which that come different, over time it changes, people's behaviors and policies change. So I view this as kind of not necessarily the only time, but a specific event of where those two things are coming together, right? Where the improvement of the way we manage the capital replacement funds is saying, well, now we know how we need to be funding this, and oh, by the way, we have had our fund balance here over allocated, so we're just moving A to B to come into line with sort of the prudent level of management of the funds overall that we've agreed we want to do. Like, is that how y'all would characterize it, basically?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's a great
Okay, well,
explanation.
I disagree with you on one thing when you say fully funded. It's we created the plan, we created the capital improvement replacement that we needed based on our policies that were in place. That didn't mean they were funded.
No.
This provides
Right, yeah.
the
This
funding.
fund-
Okay,
this funds it.
okay, I'm
This-
agreeing
this
with
It's
you
your
to a
seed
point.
round.
No,
Yeah.
this
okay.
funds it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, without this type of a structure in place,
way to look at it.
what ends up happening is our reserves grow a lot, but then we don't have a safe mechanism of determining how much can we really transfer to fund these items on it, and so you might start to overfund what you need. So this kind of keeps us in check to say, we're not going to overfund things. We're going to make sure to use that excess to go back into the capital improvement program, support those items as a funding mechanism for the things that we've identified as needs, and that way we're not kind of creating new stresses on ourselves.
Do y'all see this as because obviously we are now late in the budget year. Do y'all see this as something that might be an annual, late in the budget year activity that we do, or more maybe intermittent, not every year?
No, this
Just kind of
is-
depends.
Yes, no, this is an every year.
You think it'll be programmed every year to be expected?
Yeah,
Okay,
because
cool.
remember, during the budget process, we talked about the idea that for this equipment and vehicles and what I'll call smaller capital items, right? These are more vehicles and things like that. This is separate from roads and sidewalks and sewers, storm sewers and things like that. These items here, we don't really have an identified funding source beyond this program right here for it. And so it's putting that money, making sure, because otherwise, if we don't do it this way, we're going to have to either bond for it, or we're going to have to reduce the operating budget to make room for things like $4.2 million worth of equipment and vehicles that need to be replaced for it. So this is the primary funding source for those. So that's why it's important that we have money left over every year, because we need to identify where that is. And in good years like this one, where we had 4.2 million, we won't have 4.2 million left over every year. This was kind of a special year. We had some ARPA money left over and things like that kind of helped able to feed back into it. But as a result, we're able to get well ahead of ourselves, right? We're well out into the future right now, setting ourselves up for, as if we have a smaller amount next year, great, then we'll only go out an extra year or so for it. But we're already 4 or 5 years out funded in this program.
Already to 31.
But based on, following up on what you said, you're in the process of budgeting right now. You're budgeting for full operations. Towards the end of the year, which is like we are for the last, you find out that you weren't 100% employed. So therefore, you have excess budget, not because we over budgeted or we went too far, it's just that you weren't able to use it all.
Correct.
For whatever reason. And that's what creates a lot of this surplus. Not that we're getting too much to begin with. So this will be an annual basis, but the variation of how much it is.
Yeah, just to clarify, some of the reasons why this year's amount is so high, sales tax numbers continue to come in very, very strong. Interest numbers continue to come in very, very strong, right, on this one. And again, we had ARPA funding that was restricted over here that we could now, because we had gone through the process of closing out that grant, we could move it over and put it back into the general fund to refund things from previous years. All of those things came together in a perfect year. It wasn't so much that we had all this money left over from the expenditure side. It really was the revenues came in very, very strong for what we needed in just those couple of those categories. But remember, interest rates are great today. Where are they going to be a year from now, 2 years from now? We don't know on it. So these are kind of one-time gains. We don't want to overpopulate the budget with interest money, only to then turn around a couple of years from now and be like, now we need to cut things back, right? So while we have this money left over, putting it into capital items is a very responsible way of not overdoing the budget, but using it in a way that helps the vehicles, the equipment, and things like that.
Okay, good. Excellent. Thank you.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve agenda item number 11.
Is there a second?
Second.
Steve seconds. All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? Motion passes.
I'm disappointed that you didn't read the whole.
I know.
Well, Clark, you just have to get used to the way I do business.
That's how he rolls.
I took this, how to make a meeting
How to make a
short
meeting quick,
seminar.
that's right.
I'm learning here. I just want you to know.
You do what you want.
Make it your own,
Make it your own.
within reason.
Exactly. Oh, wait.
Item 12, consider a resolution approving and adopting the Trophy Club's Texas Town of Patriotism sub-logo.
Okay, Jill, you're on.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Thank you for your time as I present the new Texas Town of Patriotism sub-logo design. During the 89th Texas Legislature, Trophy Club was officially designated as the Texas Town of Patriotism through Senate Concurrent Resolution 18, authored by Senator Parker and Representative Baumgartner and signed by Governor Abbott. The designation remains in effect for 10 years through 2035. The Texas Town of Patriotism will be added to our Trophy Club sub-logo family, which is intended to serve as a supporting brand element that reinforces the town's identity, heritage, and community pride. The sub-logo is designed to complement, not replace, the town's primary logo and will be used selectively for initiatives tied to patriotism, engagement, and community storytelling. The sub-logo incorporates patriotic design elements that reflect Trophy Club's long-standing commitment to patriotism and civic pride. The sub-logo will be best suited for patriotic campaigns, special events, commemorative initiatives, promotional merchandise, community partnerships, and other storytelling efforts that highlight Trophy Club's unique designation and values. The primary town logo will continue to lead official communications, while the sub-logo will provide additional thematic branding support where appropriate. And to maintain consistency across all our communication channels, the sub-logo will follow established town brand standards, which are available on our website. And with that, I am happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you so much.
Questions, comments? Yes, Steve?
Mayor, under the category of make it your own, I would hereby like to move that we approve agenda item,
12.
We all stand up?
yeah, please all stand up, item 12, and approve this worthwhile act. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And Sean
Sean had
seconds
seconded.
this. So all those in favor? All those opposed?
Thank you so much.
Good job. A beautiful logo. Thank you. Thank you.
Item 13,
Wow.
consider designating 3 council members to serve on the Appointments Committee.
Oh, that's me. Okay, we're ready. I would like to nominate, I got it in my head, so I can do this. We're looking at the, hang on, just a second, I have it all. What? Is I'm at 13? I had it written down, actually. I'm going to start with go back to my, it's not that I checked out, it's that I left my, okay, we'll go to item 13, where we will I want to nominate for the Appointments Committee. This is by nomination, and then if you would like to make a nomination, you may, but in talking with the council, I will nominate Sean Nelson as an appointment, and Dennis Sheridan and myself. That's my recommendation. Do I have a motion? Or do I have a second? That's
If
my
you're
motion.
making the motion, I will second it.
That's what I'll do.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
making the motion. Do you have a second?
I second it.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes. Now we go to item 14, where I would like to nominate Clark Simmons, Rylan Rowe, and Steve Flynn to the Budget Oversight Committee. Are there?
Second.
That's my motion. Sean seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion passes. Now I would like to go to item 15, and here I'm going to nominate Gary Ash, Rylan Rowe, and Sean Nelson to serve on the Municipal Utility District Number 1 Coordination Committee. That's my motion. Is there a second?
I adamantly second that motion.
Is there further discussion? If all in agreement, raise your hand. Those who oppose, and motion passes. Next, Tammy.
Executive session pursuant to the following designated sections of the Texas Government Code annotated Chapter 551. The Town Council will recess into executive session to discuss the following. Section 551.072, deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property generally located at or near Trophy Club Drive in the town of Trophy Club, Texas.
Okay, we will, 8:09, we are going to go into executive session, please.
Hey, anyone who wants to get picked up at like 6:30?
Boy, I got all these perks.
Oh, my goodness, we're all online. We are all online. So, you ready? Oh, are you guys ready now? Are we good?
What do we put under there for you? Approved as to form? Approved as to form. File. Print.
Well, yeah, they know I'm,
Can you tell, make sure it's not double-sided? Thank you. Huh? The resolution.
okay, so are we now waiting for what?
Nothing, you go for it.
Oh, okay, ready? Okay, it's 8:59, and we are going to reconvene into regular session, and do we have a motion?
I do. We move to approve a resolution authorizing the town manager to execute a purchase and sale agreement with 915 Trophy Club LLC for the acquisition of property located at 945 Trophy Club Drive in the amount of $1,800,000, including appraisal, closing, survey, title, and other related costs, and authorizing the town manager to execute any documents necessary to complete the transaction, subject to review and approval by the town attorney.
Is there a second?
I second.
Is there discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? Motion passes. Before we close, I would like for Brandon to talk about next steps regarding this motion.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this purchase is really a wonderful opportunity for us to expand offerings that our Parks and Recreation Department provides to our community. We are excited to share information about this, and I think what we're looking to do right now is to schedule a joint meeting between the Town Council and the Parks and Recreation Board. And that meeting will occur on Monday, June 15th, at their next regularly scheduled meeting for that. So this is all new information. We haven't even shared it with the Parks and Rec Board yet. Obviously, so we'll be reaching out to them tomorrow, making them aware of it and the idea of this joint meeting with them. During that meeting, we'll be happy to present everything about the building that we have so far. So our, the cost of the buildings, the intended renovations, the cost of operating the building, the potential revenues that are coming into it. But this is really one of the highlight opportunities that we have in our community to move parks and recreation opportunities and the opportunity for a community center for Trophy Club residents. So we're excited to share that information. There will be plenty for the public to digest as we do that.
Yes, and so I would encourage the public. It is an open meeting, so you're invited if you would like to come on Monday night. Hey, be the first to know.
Yeah, and we'll make sure to broadcast that one on our Facebook pages as well for it. So usually we don't video record or broadcast Parks and Recreation Board meetings. This one we will because the town council's involved.
Okay. Any other comments before we leave? Y'all, we had a great evening. Thank you so much. It is 9:02. Adjourned.
Good times.
Where's my pen? 9:02.